some reason, yeah. Okay, so now we'll be looking at week 5. First of all, let's kind of reintroduce and re-review our project, the text adventure game. Let's complete it together, share out if we can, and then we will work on our look it if you want. And I noticed Alex Nee isn't here today, so I can say we can do the book it, and everyone will be happy.
Yep, let's get started.
This is just like a sample picture of a random game. Oh, no, I went a bit too far ahead. But anyways, here's the link to our text adventure script, and someone can post in the chat the instructions for the text adventure. Let me put in the instructions for the text adventure. Not there.
Hold on. Can they do it?
Yes.
Okay.
Your task today is to create like a text adventure mini game that combines data structures, loops, principles of game design. And let's take a look at our script right now. They will have a move from one place to another, an exit, or a treasure. This is like a graphic of how our game is gonna go. Our game is called, that we made, a script, is called Escaping the Spaceship. In this game, you've been captured by a bunch of aliens who want to study you, and you're locked in the prison. First of all, you start in the brig, the prison. There are options for you to check. And right here, this is a list of the successful options that we made. Getting the cake, waiting, investigating, going to the hall, then up the stairs, and then escaping. Now, the other options lead in a different direction and might either cause death or other stuff.
Yeah, the two-way arrows are to signify like sending you back. So yeah, that's a little bit of something that like planning to code. So yeah, you see that there's just some.
In the beginning, we have like stuff like a description, the options, and the outcomes. These are some text that will happen in the outcome. This is the text and stuff, and getting the cake.
And then so if you get a successful option, you can advance to the next room, something like that.
And here, I will post a link to the script in the chat. And so today we'll be coding like the game based off of the script.
Yeah, so this is just an example script. We hope you've got your own. We'll give you a bit of time to maybe think of that before, but you can still probably think of it in class now if you haven't thought of it before. So I think I asked you guys before this in chat, but I think I want some answers again, preferably with a little more turnout. Have you guys been using Replit to code all the coding assignments and stuff?
And so if we want to start out, let's open, we have like our whole flow chart, and let's think about how we want to code this. First of all, I'll give us like a moment to think about the framework. I'll set a timer for 1 minute so that all of you can take a second to think about the framework that we're going to use, and maybe make a copy of the document and then other stuff. Investigate it and read it through so we can code it together. In the meantime, I'm gonna make my replet. My
Yeah.
document replet.
By the way, yeah, you're coding your own scripts, not ours. Sorry if we didn't make that clear.
You
Yeah,
can create.
but you can like
REPL.
make your script base off of ours if you think maybe it'll take too much time to make one from scratch. Yeah. Also, like keep the principles and elements that we mentioned last week in mind when you're creating your game.
Okay, I've invited Alex, you, and Maria to help me join. Here you go.
Yeah, can you send me the link?
Yep. Go ahead. This is the link to the REPL, and we're going to have an adventure game script.
Okay. All right, so for our first few steps, which are not like specific to this game, I think you guys should follow along a little bit, right? So first of all, obviously, we're gonna have a welcome message. So I mean, you guys can create a variable for that or just directly print it on your own. And then, yeah.
To like make the script streamlining a bit easier, let me split screen. I'll get this ready in 1 second. How does the split screen look? That works well, right? Alex?
Yeah, that's fine.
Gotcha. So now let's add some stuff to there. We have our welcome message. Let's copy paste this. Welcome to escaping the spaceship. You've been kidnapped by creative aliens. They've locked you into prison.
Yeah,
and let's print it out. And by the way, let me I'll be constantly printing it out and seeing like showing what like our game looks like. So it says welcome to the game. They want to study you for science, and we're gonna lock you in prison because we don't trust you. That's the gist of it. Let's go back to our code. Next, I want to add a bit of ASCII art to there. Well, at the bottom, we have a ASCII art of a spaceship. Let me copy paste this and print out an ASCII art along with our welcome message. Does this work? Oops. It does work. But now let's print out the spaceship along with the welcome message. And so at first, let's do print spaceship and then the welcome message. And we see that, well, sometimes it might not work out that well. So let's re-copy paste it. Spaceship ASCII art. Something about it might not have worked. Oh, it was this one. And we got to remember, since this is like, we got to change all our like backs. Yeah. Yep, now you can see we got like an actual spaceship. Look at that. Welcome to escaping the spaceship. You've been kidnapped and they want to lock you in prison. That's really good. And now let's resume our coding and implementing each room. Now, our first room will take the longest to implement because we're still thinking of like how to make it. First of all, we have room 1, brig. And so let me just write a comment for room 1, brig.
And we're gonna have to think of a framework to loop back to room 1 when you like do a failing option, for example, like dying or getting captured, or simply like coming up with nothing and having to go back, right? So we're gonna have to find a system to go back.
Let's actually now make this.
In fact, we could make room 1 a function.
Let's try that. Now, every room has its description. And so let's make a local variable called description is equal to.
In fact, you can actually have the rooms like return like a choice you made, perhaps, or return something of the sort.
That's good. Now, once we have our like description, what should we do next? Well, one thing we can do is print it. Another thing is we can like use the input function. Let's add a space after here. And now we can say something like response, which is like the user, what the user gives back. Input description. This essentially takes like the response. If we also wanted to make a quality of life improvement, we could write dot lower.
Okay, basically what's happening, right, is it's gonna print out the description and prompt you for an answer, right? And what you answer is returned as a variable stored in the response variable.
Let's try calling the function here.
The dot lower here puts it in lowercase. So it doesn't matter like if you put uppercase carpet or like title case carpet or camel case carpet or something like that. It doesn't make a difference. So this makes it more user friendly, I think.
Welcome to the spaceship. You are in a small cell with a bright door. Would you like to check it out or wait? Okay, let me put this into a better position. Mirror carpet array. I can type in something like mirror. And it shows it takes the input well.
Oh, you zoom out.
Oh, oops, that was an accident. Zoom out.
Yeah. Oh, on the text event. Yeah. Oh, roughly. Yeah,
Okay, that is much better. And as you can see, it prints out the welcome message. Yes. After printing out the response, we can like implement the options, mirror, carpet, and wait. This is just like can be checked with a simple if statement. If the response is a mirror, like we're gonna do the option from the mirror. Otherwise, Aleph.
Oh, don't indent that.
Yep, Aleph.
Why'd you indent that?
I didn't. It automatically indented. And let's add another Aleph.
But what happens if they don't print any of these? What would you say? Well,
Then we would have an else. Wait.
else room
Oh,
one.
thank you, Maria. Yeah.
Else room one.
It was covered by my Zoom bar, navigation bar, so yeah. Else,
Room one. Oh, here's something, right? Recursion is when you call a function inside itself, right? So when they print, like when they input an option that is not valid, you don't want it to end or move on, right? Basically, what you want to do is you want them to have another try. That you want them to answer again. If there's
here's what I have in mind. Let's say
you
let's
could
have,
either achieve this with a while loop, or you could call room one again in the else statement.
here's our idea. Let's make it so that the our code will return the room number that we are going to end up in. And so here's what I mean. Let's first make a while loop that makes sure the game is on, and a variable that indicates what room we're in. Current room, and let's make it 1. And then while game on is true, while our game is on, if our current room is equal to 1, then let's call the room1 function. And now I must mention there's a thing called scope, and so we have to move all of this below it. So yeah. If the current room is 1, let's call room 1. And now room 1 doesn't really do anything. But now if we type in mirror, carpet, and weight, let me fix that. Mirror, carpet, or weight. I want to check the mirror. Then nothing happens. But if I type something else like chicken, it says that it's not a valid option. And the reason, thank you, Maria. She's typing this down. We created it before. We got to move it after. Well said. And if the response is mirror, we got to pass. Instead of passing, now let's implement our outcomes. We can say the mirror has some strange text, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to copy and paste that whole text in and print it out. Print. Irisaid strata. And while I'm at it, I'm going to change this to a single bracket because like there are some quotation marks there. Actually, that will not make a difference. And now the chicken bone thing was just a joke, and so let's not include it there.
We're not implementing it.
Do you want to make the chicken bone? Actually, you know what? Let's make the chicken bone.
Okay, so we have a little joke here in the script about a chicken bone. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna show you like you don't have to necessarily go from choice to choice to choice to choice like with us. You can also have a choice from the beginning affect the end as well. And so hold on, no. Basically it's gonna
Shouldn't it be a global variable?
Hmm?
Shouldn't like bone be a global variable?
Oh yeah. Bone equals none. It's gonna start as a none.
And to call bone, we have to allude to like global blown here because of like a thing called scope. And now Alex, something cold and hard. And now they're copy pasting the things in. And I'm gonna ask, drop your chicken bone in the mirror. Okay, I'm sorry. If the bone is equal to true, then let's drop the bone in the, let's ask. Let's take some input. Mirror or no mirror? Drop mirror equals input. And in this case, if we just want a yes, let's take dot lower just for quality of life. And if drop her mirror is equal to yes, then let's print waste of time. You will never get your bone back. And in doing so, we can say we can also add an else, but like that else we can just say print nothing happens. Okay, nothing happens. Next, let's check out our elif. I thank Alex for helping me code this. If we have none in the bone, we can say we can print like the bone is there. And if we take the bone with us.
Oh. Yeah.
If the bone is false, that means the bone is gone, you can't have it back. But if it's true, that means nothing under here. There must have been something important before. And if the response is wait, now wait is going to be our successful response, the one that leads us to the next room. And so let's do something important here. Let's do return 1 right here. What return 1 does is returns like 1, what room we're in the end. And this for number 47, we're going to do return for our wait option. We're going to return 2 because we want to be in room 2 after we successfully run this. And so if we do wait, we said, let's add, we'll just return 2. And this leads us to our room 2, our code for room 2. And let's implement the room switching option so that we can finally just get on with like coding and completing our game. And so current room is equal to room 1. This will either be room 1 or room 2. And while we're mentioning it, let's print out our current room. We have a lot of code here. Let's see what it does. Would you like mirror, carpet, or wait? Let's type in mirror. Mirror has some strange text. And then it shows that we go back to room 1 and then the description. Now we're back in the cell with the mirror and the carpet. Let's check out the something cold and hard, a key, no to dinner bone, chicken bone. Let's check the carpet again. And it shows like the chicken bone is gone. Now if we click wait, oh, it does a forever loop because like it keeps going 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. This shows that we've succeeded and now we can implement room number 2. Now you can go now. Room 2.
So in room 2, we have this, if we take a look back at the script, this decision is regarding whether or not we do something with the cake. So the description, we can save it in a string like before.
And so now let's make a function for room 2. Yep, it follows like a same basic template as we had before. We have a global, the description, a response, and
one thing that you would notice when I copied it over is when we copied it from docs, sometimes the double quotes show up wrong, and you can tell by like the color of the text was different after I changed it.
very well said. Yeah, the double quotes are really weird in that, and I'll need to do some research and look into that, but yeah, that
Mhm.
is good.
Just be careful of that.
Yes.
In a while, let me comment out these print statements because they're just temporary. Yeah, this
So-
current room.
So for this room, it's just a response for yes or no, and like before we can just use a if else loop.
And while we're doing this, let's add the global bone because we'll be messing around with the bone. In this
No, the
room.
bone is global already. It's up here. Oh
So
yeah.
if it was yes, our response would have been that you were not very cautious because that cake was like laced with arsenic.
Yep.
And since we're also asking them if they want to restart the game, this should not just be printed, but also like be in an input form as well.
Restart, and so we're going to create a variable of for restart to deal with this.
And then if you don't restart, then we set game on to false, right? So if the game isn't on, oh yeah, by the way, game on is a global variable, right? So we might want to actually move this above or just, yeah. Basically take the global variable game on and like change it.
Okay. So then inside of this if loop, we would have to make another if else loop based on the user's input. This time it's also yes or no. If restart is equal to yes, then, oh, and also we would have to put dot lower.
Oh,
Yeah. The reason we do dot lower is because if we don't, Python is case sensitive. If you do it, if the user inputs it as like capitalized or not capitalized, you would have to essentially capture every one of the cases that the user inputs for Python to actually realize that it's the same text. So we just simplify it using dot lower, so it's all in lowercase, and you only have to check for one instance. And then when we restart, we just go back to room 1. So
we
would
do the option return. Oops, sorry, like that. Return. Oops, return 1.
Yes.
Game on.
We set game on equals false.
If
Let's
game
just do
on,
return.
yeah. If game on was false, then our entire while loop would just stop running. So
And our instructions say to turn the bone into false. This is because like the bone is only the thing you should get first try. Let's test out the game now. And by the way, let me try. There you go. Let's do the successful option. Let's wait.
Why are we returning 0?
Just because like it's the last one. After a long time waiting, someone opens a slot and a cake slides in. Eat the cake, we die. Restart the game. Yes. And then we are able to restart the game, wait, and then no. And we move on to number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In addition, I'd also like to add like a \n, like a new line for every description. So our thing gets enough spacing, our code gets enough spacing.
Yes. If there wasn't a \n, then it would have, the formatting would have been very off when you printed it.
Now let's create room 3. And by the way, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask in the please ask in the chat.
Oh, by the way, you can work on your own during this, taking inspiration from our framework, or maybe even trying to do it your own way with like maybe nested if and else. So that would get like pretty confusing quick, I would say.
Let's create a def. And let's add the description for room 3.
Oh, by the way, if any of you guys need help with your text adventure, feel free to like tell us and maybe send us some code if you're having difficulties. So, yeah. Especially if you're confused about some things that we've coded. I know I don't think we've introduced global. Basically, you know how we talked about scope in like the loops and the functions and all that. So basically they have the functions have little like local variables in themselves, and if we want to like affect global variables outside of them that haven't been passed in as parameters, we need to do like something special, and that's to like go global and then put the variable names, and that'll make us able to affect like that variable even inside the function.
Elif, if the response is explosives, then let's change it up. Let's implement that one right now. You attach the explosive and you die, and it asks to restart the game.
Maybe we should automate the restart process.
That's a good idea.
Like the restart, because it's the same thing, right? And now we can teach them about implementing parameters, right? Because
let's input like the restart function all the way up here.
Restart function. So we're gonna take our code from down here.
We don't necessarily need parameters. We can just
So the restart function. You can do parameters, especially like a restart text prompt. Like you can pass in text to the restart function.
All right.
Here. I can implement that if you want.
Yep, everyone, you can help with the restart. We have the text that we are inputting, and then
yeah. Let me copy this. And let's restart.
First of all, then let's move our game thing up. Game on and our current room variables. If we restart, then we set bone is equal to false, and then we return 1. Otherwise, we said,
Oh, by the way, we need global. Bone. Can you do commas? I believe
Yeah.
you can, right? Global bone and game on. All right.
and now let's scroll down and
So
implement.
now let's take. Oh, okay. Restart the game. Yes or no? Let's make this an F string. And then,
Text.
yeah. Hold on, the quotation marks. The quotation marks is wrong, I believe.
This fixes it. And if it's yes, otherwise it's no. Let's see how we can implement. No, Alex, the quotation marks were correct. Oh, Maria, they were.
That was Maria.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Anyways.
Let's see how they work in practice. If restart is equal to yes, we can just.
I think you just call restart.
Okay, return
Just call
start. With this text.
Return restart with the cake text.
And let's delete. What this essentially does, it's like it returns 0. Okay, let's see this implemented.
No, it returns 0 if you don't want to play again. And it returns 1 if you like.
Yep, and it allows us to restart it like that, as you can see. Let me pause the game, and yeah, if restart is equal to yes, let me add a space here to make it look better. And now we can easily add it to the room 3. Letters or explosives. And so now instead of explosive, we can just write return, restart, and then copy paste the text. And we're done with our explosives option.
All right, so now you can see how functions are very useful, so you don't have to repeat a lot of things to do. Like, especially if you have like a big extensive game where there's like a lot of danger or a lot of choices. I think, yeah, like a restart function you definitely need. Otherwise,
all right.
you don't want to be
after implementing the room, we'll let you finish this by yourself, and we'll let you finish all of this by yourself, or like we'll send it to you. We'll send it to you like the week after, or sometime. And remember, if you successfully implement a unique text adventure game, you can get a gift card. We print this out and then let's return 4.
Actually, it won't ever tell you to thanks for playing. Because if the game on is,
it doesn't matter.
so like maybe, right, you actually print thanks for playing after they've finished.
Yeah. We have like the basics of the game right now, and you all can implement room 4, room 5, 6, and 7, which should be easier to implement since the first one was the hardest. And so thank you for doing this with us, sitting through this. And now we'll move on to our Look It.